guys, I hope everybody's doing well. So this is Crystal Rose Guidance and I'm Holly, and we are going to take a look to see what is coming next. Now this is a singles edition reading. I figure we have enough Valentine's readings for couples out there, so let's put some out for the singles. Hopefully this will get to y'all the day after Valentine's, but I have been having a little bit of issues here and there with my upload speed, so if y'all get it after that, I'm sorry. My intentions were to have it right after Valentine's. So with that being said, I'm also going down to 3 piles in this reading just to save a little bit for me on time. And I went ahead and pre-picked the oracle cards. So these are the water temple oracles that we're going to be using. But I do have some stones and some crystals here in my bag. Of course, there's only 3. So I'm just going to stick my hand in and pull out the first one that I feel for each pile, okay? So pile 1, y'all get the Rose Quartz Heart, okay? Pile 2, y'all have, okay, this is called Septarian. And also to mention, I forgot that I will be, when we get into each pile, telling you about the stone and telling you about what it's used for. Okay, and then also we have the last one. This is a piece of aragonite, and it can be like a cat's eye stone as well, but it's blue. Okay, so that will be pile 3. Okay, so did I say pile 4 when I put my hand in the bag? I feel like I did. I'm sorry if I did. I don't know where that came from. I was just imagining that, but we're here now. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Please, a little bit of things to keep in mind is, first off, this is a general reading. Not everything's going to fit to the storyline. Please don't try to force it into your life, into your situation. If you feel like you're kind of forcing it, chances are it's probably not your reading, but it could be that you were drawn to that pile because there's a message there for someone else. Also, it could resonate at a later time. For some of you, this may also resonate, maybe something in your past or where you feel like you're headed. So it's just, keep an open mind, but if you definitely are trying to force it, it's not your message, okay? These are always meant to be helpful, entertaining, definitely not hurtful in any way. You are in control of this reading. This is a video here on YouTube, so you utilize that control when you feel the need. If this starts to make you feel uncomfortable, if it starts to make you feel not so great, simply click off. I have a lot of other readings like this, or there's a lot of good readers out there as well if you don't resonate with my readings, and that's okay too. So with that being said, timestamps for everything will be down below, and I will see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1, so if you chose the Rose Quartz Heart, this will be your reading. Okay, so before we start talking about the Rose Quartz, let's go ahead and turn your card over to see what we have. Okay, so we have number 14, Varanasi. Hope I say that right. Endings here. I embrace the infinite flow of life. So Varanasi is actually a city. Have to make sure I get this right. It's actually hold on, my phone's trying to listen to me at the moment. Such a nosy phone, huh? Dang it. Okay, so so the city in India, and it's a very ancient city. I kind of went through and before I turned over this pile, I thought, I probably need to learn a little bit about those cards that are there, and I didn't want to waste time with that. So I did a little research. So this city in India, which is very ancient and has a lot of spiritual sense to it, this is somewhere where people go because they believe that passing away or having certain rituals performed there can help with the spiritual liberation and release like old karmic cycles. So this is all about endings and new beginnings. And I thought it was interesting, and you know, the sacredness of that. And I thought that it was interesting that you have on this card number 14, because that's temperance in tarot. Now, it's always ironic to me that temperance is a card of balance and a card of compromise, because it's Sagittarius energy, and Sagittarius is actually fire. And in this card, it's a great representation of my thought process of that, because you have this reflection that's here from being in the water, where she's, you know, kneeling and praying here, but it's such a fiery energy, right? So it's just this idea of balance when it comes to, you know, that fiery more nature, that fiery side, which has to do with all the more intense emotions, with water, which is that representation of something that's cooling and free flowing and clear, you know, and less destructive. And so it's that balance in between. So my whole point of all that jibber jabber is to tell y'all that this, I feel like for y'all, when it comes to what is coming next, it's this understanding of releasing old cycles. And it's almost like a sacred side to that, to where I feel like there's this final release of letting go and having peace with it. Finding the perfect balance in letting go of something and making peace with that and moving forward. And there's an understanding around this, like that, where it says that I embrace the infinite flow of life, because I feel like this has to do with your understanding of things that are, there's this giving and receiving energy, and making peace with what that is, and having this, ultimately being able to see things clearly so that you can kind of move through into this next phase that you're going to be in. I hope all that made sense. So I'm going to put this to the side. Okay, so let's talk about rose quartz. Why I am discussing rose quartz. We are going to get some oracle cards, so I'll just kind of shuffle through that while I'm talking. For you guys, let's get some answer oracles, okay? All right. Now, this could be anything that you feel like is going to... What in the world? Did y'all see that? Am I crazy? No. That's really there. I don't know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. So I've reinstalled some shelves here in my corner yesterday, and that's drywall that fell. There we go. That might mean something to you too. You know, maybe you're doing some construction, or tearing walls down could be part of this, being vulnerable. Okay. Excuse me. That could be the next phase that you're going into. Okay, so the answer oracles. Oh, I'm so sorry. maybe that's what this is. It has to do with you and this going into this next phase and tearing some walls down here and being vulnerable. Okay. Whew. That one got me. So the rose quartz that y'all chose. I always see the rose quartz as healing, you know, healing when it comes to love. But it can be related to love, compassion, emotional healing. It's all about bringing a gentleness or a nurturing vibe. So I really feel like when we're getting into this reading, what we're going to talk about has to do with opening yourself up and being vulnerable. And this release, you know, letting go of old cycles, so that you can open yourself up and be vulnerable, right? Okay, that just flew right at me. Spirit is like, shut up and get on with it. You have book here, wisdom, experience, immortality, and authority. So what can pile one expect for their next, what's going to happen next here for pile one? What's going to happen next? Treatment. What's going to happen next here for pile one? Yeah, look at that. So far, I like it. And the flowers fit so well with the flowers on the table. We have purity here. and fire. I'm going to take that for sure. Look at that. So you have carnival celebration and ceremony. Put it in the fire. So I have this lady that I always do workouts with, and we use bands and weights and stuff, and every time she's done with one and she throws it down, she says, put it in the fire. Put that in the fire. It just reminds me of this because Purity Treatment book, you know, bottom of the deck says family. Okay, so it's funny how a lot of things always come back to that. Your roots, right? Your roots. Okay. I feel like some of y'all just went through like a big healing phase and you're on the other side of that. And I think this fire here, like I talked about so much with this card, has to do with celebration. Celebration from purifying yourself, from the treatment being over, the healing being over. You know, this says healing, comfort, surgery, and repair with this information that you have here. So this next phase that you're going into, and we'll see if there's any one, of course, when we get into it. Right now, I feel like this is more a focus about where you are, where you're headed. So what's next for you here? I think whatever's next is going to come after this. So the timeline might be a little bit different for all of you, but you may already be here on fire celebrating. You may be back here with this wisdom. But as far as the timeline goes, I feel like with family, I think that you're starting to feel grounded in yourself. You're starting to feel more like yourself, more comfortable with yourself and who you are and what you've experienced. And you're kind of closing that chapter out. You're kind of closing that book. I feel like a lot of you are letting go of some unhealthy ideas that you had attached to some wounds and kind of carrying those with you into relationships, into connections. I think that you're kind of releasing and letting go of that. And I think this is part of the information, the wisdom that you're gathering. You're taking what you now know from the experience that you had, and you're healing from it. You're healing from that. You're releasing all of those uncomfortable feelings that you feel from it. You're purifying yourself here, emptying yourself out. And yeah, you're celebrating that, you know, putting it in the fire and celebrating that. And you're getting back to your roots. You're getting back to feeling yourself. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into the tarot. So I pulled look at that. Right off the bat, you have the Devil and the Five of Swords. So here we go, right? We're going into the next, basically the next phase of your life. What's going to happen here. And I always figure that whenever you start to feel like in this really good space, that's when you have other people, like the Devil and the Five of Swords type of people, that come to kind of pull on you. It's almost like they're trying to pull you back, you know, trying to push you back down, trying to tear you down in some way. So this, for some of you, this may be something that you're going to come into that's a bit of a challenge. This could also be in your mindset, you know, like mentally you feel like something's pulling you back. Okay, so we'll see. You have an Empress here. Yeah, that's the pedestal. I mean, that's the, you know, that's you being in that good split, in that good place, you know. And then you have the Fool, which is having new beginnings, being in that place where now you're starting over. Okay, so what are we getting ourselves into here? What is going on when it comes to, now remember, I'm going to go back to here, this ending card. So this could be, for some of you, finally closing a cycle out. This could be like the finale of that. And it's possibly coming or stemming from a place of where now you're ready for that because you are purified, you know, and you do feel grounded. In a hurricane, right? with whatever's going on around you, you still feel grounded because you know that that comes from within. Okay. Trusting yourself is a golden ticket, right? I think that's where you are here. Pile 1. What is next for pile 1? What do they need to know about for their highest good with what is next for them? I need one more shuffle, guys. What is next for them? What do they need to know about what is next for them? You have a 9 of Wands. There you are on your high horse. You have an Ace of Wands. There's that fire. The 3 of Wands in the reverse. And there's Death. Scorpio energy. Why is the 6 of Wands here? Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. You've overcome something really big. You see all the ivies there. You have all of this. The plants on either side of her here. This is that grounding space I was talking about with the Queen of Pentacles here in reverse. Taurus for me. This is overcoming those obstacles, overcoming those challenges, overcoming not feeling yourself or not feeling good enough is even something that's here as well. What is underneath this energy of this Queen of Pentacles? Yeah, the 9 of Cups. Your happiness. 3 of Cups. This has to do with your happiness and other people and other relationships. The Queen of Pentacles being in reverse. It's definitely when you feel like you can't be yourself. So getting back to who you are and getting back to yourself. You know, with the 3 of Cups too, this is like, it could be family. It could be close relationships, you know, people that really know you and know who you are, know where your heart is. So coming back or feeling like you've gained some wisdom here from this, from others, or just from relationships, and when it comes to your own happiness there. Tell me about Ace of Wands. Justice in reverse. This is the new opportunity to right a wrong. What does this have to do with the 3 of... Somebody's may trying to get you to repeat a cycle here with Death in reverse. Or this is like something that you could repeat, you know, with Death in reverse. The 3 of Wands. Yeah, you have a Knight of Pentacles that's here. Someone may be kind of keeping tabs on you. Tell me about Death in reverse. Yep, there it is, the Ace of Pentacles. Guys, there's an opportunity here for you to repeat a cycle. And this may come in unexpectedly because that 3 of Wands being in reverse with that Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like if this is a person, place, or thing, this could be whatever it is in your life that you're having a difficult time kind of releasing. We are talking about singles, we are talking about love, so but take it how it resonates. I feel like this is you kind of feeling good. You're in that energy. We already talked about all of that. You feeling really good. In your experience, feeling confident, feeling like you've overcome those challenges of trying to be happy and trying to have a good relationship, or trying to just be happy. And you've overcome that and you feel good. This Ace of Wands with this Justice in reverse, this Libra energy, is when there's an opportunity to right a wrong, or an opportunity to kind of use your lack of better judgment here. okay? There's an opportunity to kind of go backwards. Yeah, the 2 of Wands. There's a decision here. You're going to be at a crossroads. You're going to be faced with this choice. And to be honest, with Justice in reverse and the Ace of Wands, this is basically like, this is like for you to decide which path that you're going to take. And the honesty here for you guys that I'm trying to express, it's kind of hard for me to say, is, you know, the justice that you want to receive in this is basically in your hands. So whatever you've experienced and which path that you feel like is the right path for you is the one that you need to take. Tell me about the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse and the 3 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, the 10 of Swords in reverse. This is a resurrection. This is the unexpected resurrection, okay? Something coming back up. See, it's a pattern here that we're seeing. The Ace, 2 and 3 of Wands. Why is that Ace of Pentacles here with Death? Yeah, the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. This is the vulnerability that I was talking about, and being vulnerable, opening yourself up to something. An opportunity here to leave yourself open. Open to what? Well, there's 5 Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is lack. So leaving yourself vulnerable to being in a place to where you could lose. You could lose, you know, all of this that you've gained here. So this is going backwards, you know. And this is in itself a path. And everybody that's listening to this, pile 1, you're going to choose different paths to go on. And I don't want to emphasize too much about what would actually happen, which path you chose, because I feel like that's definitely something that you need to decide amongst yourself, because whatever path that you choose is a path that you're choosing to learn what you need. I've been on a lot of rocky pothole paths in my life, but I can tell you, despite the pain and grief, I learned a lot of very, very valuable lessons about myself. Not to say that if I had the opportunity, I probably wouldn't go down that bumpy road. But, you know, I don't get that. So all I can have is saying, oh, I definitely learned some things about myself there, and I'm thankful for that at least. Man, I think that's what we're looking at here for you guys moving forward, is you're going to be hitting a road to where you're going to have a path that you're going to have to take. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles in reverse with this 10 of Swords in reverse, and what that looks like. What will that look like? How will they know who this is, what this is? Yeah. Ace of Cups. It will come in the form of a relationship. Tell me more about that. The 7 of Cups. It will be a confusing, okay? This will come in a form of a relationship, but it's a relationship that will make you feel emotionally confused. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact of walking away, because these are 8 cups here. So when you start to, I don't think this is something new, okay? I think this is a return, because that 10 of Swords is in reverse. But it will make you feel emotionally confused. because I think it's something that you've maybe have already walked away from. And for some of you, there's still love here. Tell me more about that. Yeah, the Hierophant. This is a lesson. This is why you'll be confused, emotionally confused, is because this was, you felt like maybe the lesson was over, or you felt like you've learned your lesson here. This is spiritually, this is what your mindset will be. Okay. Four of Pentacles in the reverse. We have, yeah, the High Priestess in reverse. Pisces, you have Taurus here too. And the Chariot. Cancer energy. These are both cards that identify with listening to your higher self and doing what's for your highest good. But again, that High Priestess in reverse is kind of yelling at me that that's going to look differently for everybody. And even on this card, look, these cats, they're going in different directions. Some of y'all are going to make choices based out of fear of possibly that Five of Pentacles, of losing something, or what you would be losing. And then some of y'all may make a choice out from, you know, a place of faith. And to be honest with y'all, I can't tell y'all which is which. It's such a crazy feeling. I can't say this is the right path and this is the wrong path. And some of y'all will be looking at faith as the right path, even if that's a return. Some of y'all will be looking at faith as the right path, knowing that, you know, okay, I need to do what's for my highest good here, despite what I might be losing. And again, that could be the other way around, you know what I mean? So, I mean, again, this is, let's go straight to advice, because they're just not going to give me a clear, this is a choice reading. Can I have some advice? Thank you. You have a Page of Wands. What about that? And the Five of Wands. Give me some more information before I say. There's Temperance. There's your card that we have here. Page of Wands. Be curious. Ask questions. That's definitely something that's here. Four of Cups in the reverse. Don't be okay with, don't be afraid to argue. That's something that's here too. Five of Wands is a card of not being afraid to prove a point or to, you know, speak your mind. They're telling you to don't be afraid to kind of put up a fight for compromise or balance or understanding here, to try to understand some things here. Yeah, Knight of Wands. This experience may come into play either way of what you choose. So it's just telling you to get the best out, get the best of what you can from it when it comes to your understanding of things. But also, I would say, to add to that a little, always listen to your higher self and what you feel like is the right thing for you. Because some of you may have experienced this cycle more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, you know? So everybody's different when it comes to that. That's not what's not giving me a defined answer or what's going to happen or what you should choose. Temperance. There it is, the Lovers. Tell me about this connection. Gemini, Sagittarius. Tell me about this connection. Ooh, it's the Three of Swords in reverse. What about it? The Page of Swords in reverse. So you may be healing from someone that you feel like is not honest, loyal. Maybe they express, verbalize promises they can't keep, or miscommunication could be a part of this as well. Queen of Swords in reverse. There could be a lack of maturity here of how a situation was handled or by one or both of you when it comes to communication, because these swords or actions, mostly communication. Compromise is definitely something that's needed here overall. I would say as far as advice goes, more in a spiritual aspect, it's just saying to compromise and becoming aware of, it's okay to sometimes not be on the same page with somebody, as long as you know where your boundaries are and as long as the other person respects those. I mean, ultimately, that's where that sweet middle spot is, like temperance. You know, that fire and water. I do see the connection here, obviously. With temperance and the lovers, that is that's a connection where you feel like you kind of, as a person, internally, in the way you process or your emotions are very similar. So you really connect with them on a deeper emotional level. So again, I feel like some of you, it depends on, you're just going to choose. What is the argument here with the Knight of Wands? The defensiveness, Seven of Wands in the reverse. So again, I feel like this is like not being on the same page with someone about the conflict, about the disagreement. And there's like an equal, understandable amount of defensiveness on both sides, or how to defend and what that looks like. It's kind of a weird feeling because it's like two things can be true, you know? This also feels very complex or very difficult to understand. The Knight of Wands with the Five of Wands can also be like someone having you compete with others, or compete with, compete with their time or their energy in some kind of way, or leaving someone confused, or other people or other outside influences being involved. Someone kind of gung-ho, here with the Knight of Wands, not really thinking about the surroundings or what's going on around them, just kind of focused on one particular thing. King of Wands just came out sideways. So there's some misinterpretation or understanding about why, what that was or what that is. And loyalty is also something that is in question. Yeah, Knight of Cups in the reverse. A lack of loyalty. This feels like someone that kind of was focused more on themselves or their desire or their goal in some kind of way. And there's a very wishy-washy energy here. You have Four of Wands. And less around maintaining some sense of foundation when it comes to the connection itself. It's almost like if you're standing on a foundation, you and someone else, and that foundation is starting to crack, right? In all areas. The other person, instead of trying to fix the foundation, would take off to go find another foundation where you're left standing there with all these cracks. And you're like saying, no, wait, our stuff is here, or we've already built this. Like we already have all these materials. It just needs to be fixed. It's like throwing away a refrigerator because a light bulb's broke. You know what I mean? You had this may have been a runner. Like I hate that term, to be honest. I'll be honest, I hate a lot of terms. But because there's so many ways to interpretate. It's just a feeling, right? Someone that's avoidant, right? An avoidant. Someone that avoids confrontation. Yeah, the Eight of Cups in reverse. That's running away before things get difficult, or if things get difficult. Leaving someone with this emotional attachment, right? Okay. Eight of Wands in the reverse. Well, I think a lot of time has gone by. You have a Star, Aquarius energy in reverse, a lack of hope. Someone's been waiting here. The Seven of Pentacles. Waiting for something that's never going to happen, you know? The Eight of Wands is like when things come to a halt, things shift suddenly. There's frustration around waiting for something that's just never going to happen. And that's the bottom line here, I feel like, of this reading and what's occurred. Okay, so let's see if we can get some advice here, because this reading kind of well, at least it took me for a little bit of a loop. I wasn't really expecting, I just wasn't expecting it to go this way. But, you know, remember, we are talking about embracing the infinite flow of life and endings and finding peace with that. So I think ultimately that's the advice here, is whatever you decide, make peace with that decision that you're making. I do see compromise and willingness to make peace here. Whether that's together or apart, I don't know, that's going to be different for everybody, what that looks like. But I see peace on the table. And an ending, you know? Okay. What if it was easy? Well, it doesn't have to be hard. Call in the universe, the stars and angels, and all of their powers. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease. Call in grace and receive guidance. You are supported. List 10 possible ideas of your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. I want to see something for you guys, because I know a lot of you may move away from this, obviously. You know, you don't want to repeat another cycle or give that another opportunity to perhaps maybe go a different way. So let's just see what the future holds here overall. What does the future hold here for you guys moving forward? Possible future outcomes moving forward. Dreams. Look at your dreams. They hold the answers that you seek. In romance. Romantic surprises are on the horizon. Be open to them. You also have gift at the bottom. See how neutral this is? That's why I feel like there's no dividend. There's no, I can't say the word, exact answer to give y'all here. Gifts. Life's greatest gifts is the ability to truly understand one another. So basically it's saying kind of dream of a romance or dream of a relationship where you have this mutual understanding of who each other is authentically. And, you know, have your mindset to that and what that looks like for you and whoever that is. I do feel like there are some surprises here on the horizon, but it does say be open to them. And we did talk about, you know, that need to have to be vulnerable. And some of you, you know, it's hard to do that with someone where you've already opened yourself up a bunch of times. At some point, you have to understand that that person may not be the person for you, or someone that's good for you. You know, the dynamic between the two of you, just for their behavior or character or phase or where they are in their life. It's just different for everybody what those reasons are. But you have to be able to understand and identify with what is right for you and what is not. And some of you, that may be kind of, giving this another opportunity. I can't say that to each their own here, because some of y'all, this is a one-time thing, and this would be like giving someone a second chance. And I'm all about second chances. To my detriment at times, I've had to learn from that, and it's been one of the most difficult things. But if you believe in that, and depending on what you experienced here, all that's different for everybody. So it's just, please use your own discernment. Keep that in mind moving forward. Let's get an overall card for advice. What are we going to use? Let's do this is the Wild Offering Oracles. Okay. Overall card for advice to leave pile 1 with. Spaciousness. What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence. Show me that will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. So there you go. I mean, I kind of laughed because I felt like that's kind of what we were talking about. Okay, so let's get some initials and charms to close. I hope this helps. I never know where these readings are going to take me until I get into them. This is kind of, like I said in the beginning, kind of like a mystery. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this made sense to you guys. Okay. It always seems impossible until it's done. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. And you have loving is easy. I should have said it. I was thinking this. It was in one of these cards. Or maybe it's just something that I said. And I was thinking about love should be easy. It shouldn't be something that's so difficult. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So we have B, H, N, 2 N's actually, an I, an M or W, a G, there's a W, and an L. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to leave you right here. I hope this helps. I hope you got something that you could use that would be useful in the future here from this reading. Definitely sending y'all so much love. Thank you so much for all your kindness and support. I appreciate all y'all. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 2. So if you chose the Septarian stone, this will be your reading. Or heart here. Okay, so I have already looked at your card because I did a little research on who was in the card itself. And I thought it was interesting because it always is synchronistic, right? So y'all have this beautiful card. I love this blue color. Number 43, Blue Tara. And I thought it's kind of neat that this is Septarian, and you have that Tara kind of in the name, as far as the pronunciation goes. Before we get into your card, I wanted to say with this particular stone, there's a lot to do with grounding. So maybe you've been feeling that need to ground yourself. But it can represent stability, it can represent grounding, nurturing yourself, confidence here as well. Okay, so with that, let's talk about the Blue Tara. So, interesting that this card, it says on it, persevere, what in the world? It won't come out of my mouth. Preservation. Oh man, I had to think about that one. Bless you, George. George has a little cold, guys. I overcome all obstacles. Preservation. Why did I struggle there? I paused. Preservation. Maybe I was preserving my breath. I don't know. Anyways, I always feel like everything has a meaning, right? So I kind of pause to think about it. But you have this big red cape that she has here. And so the blue Tara is actually a representation of overcoming obstacles, especially overcoming spiritual obstacles. She's very nurturing, right? There's this very nurturing, protective energy that she carries, but it's not like a calm, protective energy. Like, this is a fierce, protective energy. So this fierce need to protect could be something that you're feeling. Maybe persevering what you've experienced or what you've been through. Overcome all obstacles. So you see these mountains in the backgrounds. Those can represent challenges that you've overcome. There's this defensiveness that's here, right? I mean, she is definitely ready to defend, protecting her peace, protecting what she's been through. 43, which is 7. 7's about being in alignment. Also, when it comes to relationships, it's the 7th house. But your stability is 4, and 3 would be about your growth. So I really feel like there's this primal need to protect yourself, fearful need. To protect yourself or protect your growth or what you've been through and experienced, especially when it comes to your foundation of where you are. So this might be an interference when it comes to relationships. You know, sometimes we tend to really kind of put those guards up, and when we've went through a lot and we've overcome a lot in protecting our peace. Okay. So to me, your stone can also be like you needing to ground that, or needing to like come down with that, you know, like calm in a calm way. This is definitely an energy that is needed at certain times, but I feel like for y'all, what's transitioning or what's coming next, it would be beneficial if you could ground that energy and maybe kind of, you know, put up some barriers, not quite walls. So all right, let's see, at least something where you can kind of look over, you know, you can kind of you can kind of see what's on the other side at least. Okay, let's see what's going on. We're going to use the Twin Flame Audio Oracles to see. Now this is about what is next for singles here. What is next? What is next? We have fanned out available. That's what we just got done talking about. Halloween could be important as well, or October, that time frame. Something about that could be important. No limits or restrictions. Willingness to be vulnerable. Tell me about. We also have She's a Unicorn, one of a kind. Hard to find, irreplaceable, and the unexpected. Surprises. Expect the unexpected and shocking revelations. Okay. What's next for pile 2? Infinite abundance. Bottom of the deck, y'all have the Devil's Domain. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. And also, need to get y'all's tarot. Okay, so the Devil's Domain is going to be that bottom of the deck energy for me, the overall energy that we see. And most importantly, what I want to say is what's really coming out is this says, it says obsession, addictions, poor habits, but it also says codependency. You also have heavy burden there at the bottom. So this is about responsibilities and clinging to an unhealthy relationship, carrying old baggage. So this is kind of, and look at her, look at that. That is so awesome. What a good synchronicity. You have this blue right here, just like her, in that red cape, you know, and she's holding it as a statue. So that's that baggage that you're carrying. So yes, being protective of your energy, where you've come from, what you've learned, how you've grown, that stability that you have. is essential, but there's also like a balance that needs to be had there. Otherwise, it'll end up hurting you, especially whenever you have opportunities to have new connections or new relationships. And I really think that's what we're looking at, that being an obstacle here. This may have to do with getting past codependency, learning about codependency, learning what is good and not good for you, becoming inner independent. Yeah. You definitely don't want to go through a process of learning about yourself and learning about something and releasing that toxicity that you've been holding onto when it comes to relationships, that codependency that may be developed there. You definitely don't want to go through that and heal from that, and then that being your detriment when it comes to new relationships. And so I do feel that there's a possibility for you to have abundance here. I actually feel like for you guys that I think that you have an opportunity here to be available to someone that may feel like that you are someone that is one of a kind. Like this feels like somebody that really does see the value in you. And I think that this may come as somewhat as a surprise. This may be someone that's kind of expressing this to you as well. But for some of you, this may be very triggering to hear. It's interesting too that this infinite abundance says knowing your self-worth and value, because I really feel like that's what this kind of is about. And this may be something that you've heard before, but that person was not an honest person, therefore it made you feel like they weren't honest about your value and your worth. Kind of like a mind trick, right? And so you have someone perhaps that's new here telling you these same sort of things. That of course in itself is going to be somewhat triggering. So this primal need to defend yourself when you are triggered by something that you've heard from a not great experience in the past is I think what we're looking at, and not letting that mess up possibilities to have, windfalls, to have some kind of abundance here, prosperous life here. Okay, so this is interesting. I hope that y'all are, sticking with me here on this, because I feel like a lot of y'all can probably resonate with this. I know I sure can sometimes. It's funny because I think that we feel like when we think that we're ready for pretty much anything, and we'll be able to like trust ourselves, and we have our boundaries are in the right place, and we feel good about it and all this kind of stuff. But then you really don't know for sure until you're actually in that environment, until you're actually faced with that obstacle, faced with that person, And sometimes I think that we can be triggered, like I said, by certain actions or something that someone's telling us, and trying to not allow that to be part of this new experience. That can be difficult because we have this need to want to protect ourselves, especially depending on what we went through. I want to have to do that again in a whole different person. Okay. So let's see what this is all about. So this is one of my most favorite decks. I know I say that about everything, but this is legitly like one of my most favorite. It's the Last Unicorn Tarot, which is a very old cartoon, like from the 1970s. I think that they made a tarot deck, and it's just really pretty. It's really pretty. Okay, so tell me about pile 2 and what is next for pile 2. So all of these cards kind of set us up for the reading, so we know what we're looking at here with the tarot. What is next for pile 2? You have a Knight of Pentacles, so you definitely have somebody coming in here. The thing is this feels like somebody that's coming in very slowly. This is like somebody that's, very determined to get to know you, to understand you, and they may have their own reasons why as well that they're coming in so slow. Yeah, you have the Hierophant in reverse. See how he's looking at that key and he's like, I don't know where this key goes to. I don't know where I want to put this key. Taurus energy here. This is like someone that's really trying to understand you. They're trying to get to know what are your morals, what are your values. They may also see you as being someone that's interesting. So you may be very different from what they're used to. But I think that this person may be looking at you like you could be, like you're someone that seems like that you could be very special to them. Like there's a lot of abundance about you. And I'm not talking abundance about what you have to offer. I'm talking about just as you as a person. I just looked up in my neighbor's tree and there's a whole bunch of honeybees in his tree. Like a bunch of honeybees. Which is about prosperity. So in these cards, you see how gold they are? Okay. Let's see. I don't know exactly what that means yet. Let's keep going. It's tied into the reading somehow. Now, 3 of Wands in reverse. This is that unexpected energy that we saw here. Somebody's making themselves available to you. That's what we're looking at. That's what this is right here. And you are someone that's very different from what they're used to. And there's that red cape. Again, Temperance is here. Sagittarius energy. See how he's peeling potatoes? You know how long that takes? There's a very slow moving energy here. Very slow. But slow can actually be one of the best things, especially if you are in this place to where you are very fiercely protective of your own energy here, you know? Okay, so why is the Knight of Pentacles here? Yeah, the 4 of Wands in the reverse. Tell me why the Hierophant is here in reverse. You have there's another Knight of Wands. I think this person may be questioning kind of like what, not only what you want, but I think maybe what they want out of you. Like, there's a lot of I don't know energy here. Like I don't know, but I know. It's like I'm trying to think of my cat. I just had this vision of my cat messing with something. And you know how like cats, they're very curious, right? So even if, and you know that they know that something may not be good for them or may hurt them in some kind of way, or it's like something that they're not familiar with, but they're still so curious they want to like go after that regardless. That feels like this person. That feels like the way that this person's energy is. Why is it 3 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles in the reverse? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is someone that doesn't have a clue what they want either. Temperance. Trying to figure this out. Look at that. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. See the Ace to the 10 of Pentacles here? The Hierophant is here. This could be somebody that's really like very traditional as well. It still has this feeling of curiosity here. I don't know what it is that is about you that this person is very like, this is a really hard feeling to describe. Y'all bear with me, because I'm trying to not like, I don't mean this in any kind of negative way. I just feel like, well, what do I mean by that? Like, how does this person see you? How does this person see you? The Ten of Cups in reverse. As potentially emotional fulfillment. Or you could destroy this person. I think that that's why they're, like, this is someone that feels like if they get emotional, they could easily get emotionally attached to you. Or they could see emotional fulfillment with you. And I think that they're hesitant because of that. Because that can be devastating, you know, as well, when you have that. So I think this is somebody that's going through their own kind of battle, their own kind of issues. This is where you and this person may understand each other. Yours is more protective of your own energy and challenges and growth that you've been through and where you are and who you are. But this person is more about their emotional space and that happily ever after. I think this person still has, well, you can tell too with that Ten of Pentacles as well, this person still has a very dreamy like idea of having a happily ever after. And with that Four of Wands in reverse, this could be somebody that's, you know, gone through some kind of devastation when it comes to family, when it comes to divorce, when it comes to a broken relationship, maybe a broken home. This could be with their lives, or maybe when they were growing up. But it's just something that's made them be very timid. I think this is someone that really does feel safer in the fantasy, but the curiosity about you is getting, I think, the, you know, better end of them here. Tell me, okay. Yeah, the Page of Swords. This person may be spying on you as well. This person also could be spying on your family or spying on family. Maybe like who you are, where you come from, that kind of thing. They want to know more. This is someone that wants to know more about you. Why or what? What or why? There's the keyhole, by the way. See? He's holding the key. What, where or why? What is this? The Lovers in reverse. Okay, so this is partially one of the reasons I love this deck so much. So if you've ever watched this cartoon, if you haven't, I recommend it. It's really old, but it's a really good cartoon. You know, it's one of those really good cartoons. So it's about the last unicorn, and that's partially why I love this. The meaning behind the story is why I love this deck, but this card is one of it as well. So he's a sorcerer, right? But he's like not the greatest sorcerer, but they tie him to this tree, and he's trying to get himself untied from the tree, but instead of saying the right spell to get himself untied, he accidentally turns the tree into his like lover. And so if you can tell, there's two lovers in this deck here as well. And this is one of them. And this to me is like the fake kind of lovers, you know, like not what you expected. So the Lovers being in reverse, Gemini energy, this person is afraid of this. I think that they're wanting to get to know more about you, but they're afraid of it being not what they think or not what they expected. This person must have definitely had an experience to where they were caught up by an illusion or had the rug pulled out from under them, or, you know, something to that effect, where they're more logical or try to be more logical or traditional in some way. Okay, so what is this person that's coming towards you? This is definitely someone here that's coming towards you. I feel like someone new. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles. It's the Seven of Pentacles. Again, that very slow moving energy. This person may have been someone also that's been single for a long time, putting a lot of energy into themselves. Maybe they're still in the process of rebuilding as well. The Seven of Pentacles is it's waiting, you know, it's very slow and just waiting. Why is that Knight of Wands here, though, with the Hierophant in reverse? Yeah, there's the Empress, Libra and Taurus. With that Knight of Wands, this person's struggling somewhat, I feel like, with their, it could be their morals or values in this situation, or you being very different from what they're used to, because they do see you in a really good way. Like, this is someone, first off, I do feel like this person's very attracted to you with that Knight of Wands, but I also feel like that they are, like, they see you as having everything that they would want. That's the Empress. They see you as someone that's abundant, someone that they can grow with, someone that can grow, you know, on your own. And I think that that's the key here. But I also feel like that this person's trying to figure out what it is that they still, like, what they would still want with you, being that they do see you as this Empress. Ten of Pentacles. Look at that, Two of Cups. This is hard. This is really hard to describe. So this is double confirmation that this is an unexpected energy. Like, so this, I don't think this is, and for you too, I think as well, I think this is like an unexpected feeling that you feel. This feels like a relationship that kind of sneaks up on you, or a relationship that it's just like you weren't expecting. But I also feel like this person's going into this not expecting something. And I think that that is how they're protecting their own emotional stability. You know, because we talked about that here and how they see you. So there's I'm being very practical here about this. That's what we're looking at. I'm being very practical here about this. Okay, so there also may be some kind of an agreement here. What is that agreement with that Two of Cups? The Emperor in reverse. This person may feel, or they may express to you, that they don't feel like they're in a good place. Like they don't feel like themselves. They don't feel like they're where they want to be, or maybe that they're not quite ready for something. Like, now, okay, this may be what's triggering for you, hearing this person say this, because you may have experienced a relationship with someone where they kind of either made themselves to be somebody they're not, or they told you, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I'm not ready for this, or I'm not ready for that, or that I don't want this, or I don't want that. And that was all like a facade or a lie in order to kind of keep you, or they didn't have that with you, but then they went off right away and had that with someone else. All those things they said they didn't want. So this may be what's triggering for you, but I genuinely feel like the Emperor is in reverse, because with that Ten of Pentacles, this person feels unstable. So they don't feel like that they have the stability that they really would want, or really feel like that they would need in order to have that relationship that they would want with you. And I think it's more of out of respect or honor, because this person genuinely sees you as this Empress energy. So they want to meet you at that level. They're just not there yet. But again, I think this may be triggering for you to hear because of your past experiences. So tell me about the Ace of Pentacles with Temperance. Yeah, Judgment in reverse. Scorpio energy. You also have Aries here as well. This is someone that wants to be on the same page as you, and they want you to understand exactly where they are, exactly how they feel. This is someone that wants to take things incredibly slow, but It has more, I feel like, to do with where they are versus than where you are. But with that Judgment in reverse, it's kind of like when things are up in the air, you haven't made that decision. I mean, this person's kind of in a way asking you to be vulnerable, and be kind of open to see where something goes. But they're also like doing the same thing with themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they're also being vulnerable. So there's compromise here, basically, with that Temperance and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This person's kind of saying that they can't offer you something solid or maybe even committed. But they're not laying any kind of expectations on you either. This person, I don't feel like, was quite expecting this, but they're, like I said before, I think this person's curiosity is kind of getting the better of them. So they're wanting to talk about this with you because I feel like they're wanting to be on the same page. This isn't somebody that's trying to deceive you or trying to create some kind of false idea of what something could be. No, this is somebody that's being very practical, and it's not just about what they're trying to present to you. It has a lot to do with this person trying to maintain their own emotional stability. What is this person's intentions? I mean, I kind of just read their intentions, so what do you need to know about this person that we're not seeing? The Six of Pentacles in reverse. They're just not in a good, balanced place at this time. They can't give you what they would want to give you or offer you. This could be even financially with that being a pentacle. The Page of Cups, yeah. They can be, this is somebody that wants to be fun, you know, wants to be flirtatious, wants to get to know you, wants to like be all this kind of stuff. But the Six of Cups in reverse, this is someone that is also kind of still healing from some things in the past. They're still trying to find balance. They just don't want to let this go either, you know, because they feel like this here, you're one of a kind, hard to find. That's why they're going so slow. They don't want to get attached, I feel. Yeah, there's the other Lovers in reverse still. More Gemini energy. Page of Cups, Justice in reverse. This is somebody, Libra, that's trying to be fair. Like they're trying to be fair. Guys, I'm reading these energies, and I don't feel any negative energy from this person, and I would pick up on it. I promise you. I would. I don't feel it. And the only really negative thing that I'm seeing here is the Devil's domain. But this is from the toxicity that you're trying to avoid. You and this person. You know, yeah, look at that. You have 6, 6, 6, 6 here, and 11. So 4 6s. 6 is not a bad number, by the way. I know a lot of people say that is, but it isn't. It's about balance. It's about an equal give and take, which is about basically what this reading overall is about when it comes to this person. And what's fair and what's not fair, wanting to be right, wanting to be just and fair with someone. this person does want to, and they're trying to overcome some like emotional baggage that they're carrying here. But I feel like that you're still overcoming things as well. I feel like with your energy compared to this person's energy, I think that this is, we'll see where this could go, where it could lead. But I feel like that this is, y'all would be like almost, it's just aligned with each other. Even if it doesn't result in a commitment, or if it's just simply, it's just a friendship. I just feel like the two of you just are in alignment with each other. Okay, so where could this lead, though? Where could this lead? The World in reverse. Where could this lead? Whoa. King of Cups just came busting up out of there. There's the emotional stability. Scorpio energy. Where could this lead? Strength in reverse. There is a need to be vulnerable here, though. Tell me about the World. There's another 6, the last 6. 6 of Swords in reverse. This is having unfinished business. And what is this? This going back to something. The 8 of Pentacles. For some of you, this may have to do with physical work, but for others of you, this has to do with working on yourself. But either way, there's still some unfinished conflict around work or working on yourself or time and energy, and not putting any kind of pressure here on this. In other words, not pressuring each other or pressuring one another when it comes to, you know, going to the next phase in a relationship. But this is something that's gonna come up in the future, because that King of Cups, because there's emotions that will mature here, that will need to be addressed. Chariot, Cancer energy. I think that's on this person's side, but I mean, it just depends on whoever the masculine is here. But there's emotions that will be needing to be addressed, and worked on and talked about, and what is for your highest good. Because there's emotions that are maturing, you know, with one another. The Strength in reverse is Leo energy, and the 8 of Swords. Yeah. So down the road, of course this is bound to happen, right? You do have the 5 of Pentacles here. So worried about being abandoned or worried about losing the relationship in the future is something that is going to be needing to be talked about. I don't see any, like, again, I still don't feel any, there's a very practical grounding, maybe that's why your stone is here, overall feeling in your reading. And I still don't see any hurtful things here. There is this choice, I feel like, that's here, though, about when, like, emotions start to mature, and if whether or not you're on the same page with that and how you want to move forward, and needing to kind of needing to know if you're going to be vulnerable here and open, or if you're choosing to move away from this because you're not on the same page and it may put you in your head. And I don't know if that's this person or if it's you, okay? But someone here is concerned about the loss or being abandoned, or, you know, something that, yeah, look at that. 5 of Cups is there. And the 5 of Wands. Wow. Do y'all see what I'm seeing? Y'all see what I'm seeing? The Knight of Swords in reverse. and the Queen of Wands in the reverse with that Ace of Wands and the Sun. Okay, so hold on, this kind of threw me off. There's going to be a moment down the road where all of what this is and where it's headed is all going to need to be addressed. Now that's kind of like, of course that's going to happen. That's bound to happen, right? The Sun is with that Ace of Wands is showing me that there's an opportunity to have something different. For some of you, there may even be an opportunity for right when you feel like things are going really good and you feel like this is headed in a great direction. There's an opportunity here when it comes to maybe even the physical part of this relationship. It could also be that maybe somebody's getting an opportunity elsewhere here, and that is going to trigger this change. The Queen of Wands in the reverse and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. This could be either someone that's interfering from the outside, or this could be the physicality of your relationship is somehow interfering with what y'all have in place. But you have the Five of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. I think this has to do with somebody else coming in the picture and stirring the situation up and causing a change to transpire. And what that change looks like, that's going to be different for all of you when it gets to that point. But someone is like, everything needs to be addressed because the Five of Swords is conflict. And you notice in this card, he's looking over here at the two of them. So jealousy becomes an issue. Also with that Five of Wands, it's about an outside interference. And then you have the Five of Cups, which is about being disappointed, no longer feeling the same way as you once did. And the Five of Pentacles is feeling abandoned or lost. So something happens here where I feel like it's somebody getting an opportunity elsewhere that just shakes everything up. And there are two men here, so I don't know if that is a reflection of you getting an opportunity elsewhere or the other person. It depends on where you fit with that. Or if that even matters to you guys. I don't know your situation, so any advice we can get from the tarot before we go on? Any advice we can get for pile 2 about this? Yeah, the Two of Pentacles. You're going to be faced with a decision. So you may be the one that's having to decide between if you want to continue this with this person. You may get an option elsewhere. Tell me about that. The Knight of Swords in reverse. And the Ace of Wands. I think for a lot of you, you're going to have a decision pop up. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles, please. That's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is kind of like the fate is in your hands of how something goes. The Knight of Swords in the reverse. The Nine of Wands in the reverse. This could have to do with letting your guard down with someone. Tell me more about that. The Devil in reverse. Capricorn energy. You're going to have to decide if you want to give up on this situation that's here. Because this person here is not really offering you commitment, right? And I think you may have someone here. It could be even someone from your past with that Wheel of Fortune being in reverse, because that can look like a second chance. That Two of Pentacles, it's you juggling. Do you want to give someone else another chance or not? You're looking at the Knight of Swords and the Devil with that Nine of Wands. So this may be something that you gave up on, you deemed as like toxic in some way. That Ace of Wands is telling me that there's still like possibly a lustful kind of attraction that you have to someone. Yeah, the Seven of Swords in the reverse, and the curiosity of whether that person's different here, or things could be different, is here. Also, some of you may struggle with whether or not you should say anything to this person when you do get that opportunity. Or some of you may just not take it at all and just, you know, I mean, Ten of Wands in reverse, that's up to you guys. I just told y'all like the whole storyline of this situation with this person. Use your own discernment. We have the moon at the bottom of the deck, so that means there's still a lot of things that you don't know. You're going to be fighting perhaps with your internal compass about what's real and what's not real. This is about emotional confusion, you know. Two of Swords, yeah, when it comes to making a decision. Four of Swords, think on it. Think about it. Give it some time before you just jump into anything. And the Three of Pentacles, and what you're actually committing to here. Always keep in mind too, if it's causing you anxiety or stress, if a relationship that you have with somebody automatically makes you start to feel anxious, that's kind of a red flag. If it doesn't make you feel grounded like the Queen of Pentacles is, that's in itself a red flag. So keep that in mind. I just looked over to see what time it was, and it's actually 11:11. Okay, let's get some advice. Let's see what possibly could happen in the future first, even though we just kind of looked into all that. Okay. We have hideaway. Make time to be with your person. Create your own sacred or own special hideaway. I wouldn't express this relationship, like this new relationship, to a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people would have influence or something to say about it. And this is a situation, if you're already in this place of, you know, being very protective of your own energy, they may cause a lot more confusion than what you need, or what needs to be there. So that's just something that's here. We have charisma. Love flows to you. You radiate charisma and charm, which means you're going to be drawing in people, right? The right path. Love is a beautiful journey, and you're on the right path. And we have heartbreak. Heartbreak is a part of the human experience. It will pass. This decision that you end up having to make, you need to make that based off of what you want for yourself, and not making it based off of who you don't want to hurt in the situation. Of course, you don't want to hurt anybody, but in a situation where you could hurt, somebody's going to get hurt, whatever you choose. You need to make sure that you're choosing that path for yourself, because that's the one that you're going to have to live with. So it is part of the human experience. Heartbreak is. Everything does pass eventually. All right. Yeah, with that codependency, maybe even people-pleasing tendencies, you may have a hard time choosing yourself here, or what it is that you really want. Okay, let's see. What do I resist feeling right now? And it could be if you're having to hurt someone else, you could be having a difficult time choosing because of that. We have to feel it to heal it. In order to let go of pain, we first must honor its experience. Emotions are like waves. Some are soft, some are fierce, and some have layers, and some will sweep you off your feet. When we allow ourselves to feel it all, we can then release what no longer serves us. Allow yourself to feel this wave. Let it move through you, no matter how long it lasts, and then release it back into the ocean. Feel it, heal it, enjoy the sweet freedom within your soul. All right, let's get one of these Soul Truth Oracles. Nope, that was a Soul Truth Oracle. This is a Wild Offering Oracle, and then we'll get some initials and charms to close. Can I have one for pile 2, please? Clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. There you go. All right, let's see what charms we got. Y'all have the owl, so listen to your higher self. Use your wisdom, experiences, be smart. You have be kind. You have stress less and smile more. You also have an M or a W, an I, a Q, an E, a V, another M or W. We'll do both. A U and a P. PU. Private is something that I'm wanting to say, and I said that earlier, hideaway. Pi is there. Oh, that sounds good right now, doesn't it? Real quick, guys, short story. I have 2 golden doodles, right? And I let them in the house. Here and there, I'll let them in if it's, crappy outside. Of course, I'll let them in at night and let them sleep inside the house. But if it's really nice outside, which lately it has been, I'll let them stay out. Well, I had ordered some little mini pies for me and my oldest. We like the apple and cherry. And a few days, I had left them on the counter. A few days had passed, and I thought, oh, I forgot I had those pies. I got so excited about going to get apple pie. And I go in there, and they're gone. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Who ate all the pies? And I thought in my head is, oh, my God. I left them out. My dogs ate them. And sure enough, I went and looked behind the couch, and my dog, I know it was Marley, but it could have been Tater. He tends to find the deliciousness in things as well. But it was right there behind the couch, the boxes, and I thought, well, good God, she had 3 pies, guys. Yeah, it's bad. So bad. Anyway, I don't know why I told y'all that story. No clue. Maybe that meant something to somebody. It's funny, like, I had 3 options. I could have had it, but I kept putting it off. I'm like, no, I don't need that today. I'll wait till I have it tomorrow. I'll have it tomorrow. And then it was gone. So maybe that has something to do with this, Stress less and smile more. Okay. So I'm going to leave you here. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck to you guys, and hope to see you soon. Hey, pile 3. So if you chose the Blue Aragonite stone, this will be your reading. Okay, so with this particular stone, let's talk about this before we turn your card over. It's meant to be for emotional soothing, tranquility, enhancing communication. It's a peaceful and calming stone. So emotional clarity, obviously the color blue can be about communication, the throat chakra, but definitely also about emotions, water. These are hold on, I tried to say that too fast, I guess. These are the water temple oracles that we're using. So y'all have Lord Shiva. Now I've already looked this card up because I wanted to get a little download for it before I started reading, just to kind of get some more information. So Lord Shiva, which also says divine fusion, and I unite with sacred synchrony, sacred synergy. I still don't feel like I'm saying that right, but with that being said, 16 is the tower in tarot, and I think that's really relevant here. Obviously, that was no coincidence that this is the number 16, because Lord Shiva is someone that is basically, like, he was known as the destroyer. So he kind of destroys things that are no longer good for humanity, no longer good for others, and changes them into something else. So when you're getting ready for, it's basically like the tower. We always talk about a tower moment and it being what's best or what's good for you, despite it being hurtful or hard to go through or a hard challenge, or there's chaos there. But in the end, it is like for the best, or you just can't see that at the time. Okay, so he would be the one to come in and do that. That's who we're talking about. So I do feel like that there may be some kind of tower moment here that's coming in, or if you've already experienced that, and you may be, hopefully you're on the other end of that, but it could lead to what's meant for you, what's right for you. So for some of you, this could have to do a relationship, you know, that you were in, and you're no longer afraid of the fact that that has been something that's been kind of destroyed or taken down, and you're now starting to understand or see the reason behind that, and possibly that was something that wasn't good for you. That's really where I want to take this reading, but we'll see what comes out in the cards. His Triton that he has, that he's holding, those 3 peaks represent past, present, and future. So it's kind of like bringing it all together. And you also notice that he has a cobra here on his shoulder, which is kind of just representing that he is not afraid, you know. I think he's also the one that they say drink poison to save like a world. So with that being said, it almost like is saying that maybe you possibly had to go through some serious heartbreak or pain or chaos in order to kind of what's for the greatest good, or now you're starting to see that it was for the greatest good. Yeah. It's funny when we go through those experiences, it hurts, you know, most of the time it's painful, but in the end, it's like we wouldn't have seen that side to that person, or we wouldn't have seen that happening underneath us, you know, or we wouldn't have even been open to it if that wouldn't have happened, you know. So I feel like something like that's going to come in through this reading, but we'll see. So I did pull the Revealing the Truth oracles for you guys to get started. Okay. So creation, perseverance, destruction of the past, the present, and the future. Basically the power to maintain balance and cosmic order. That's who Lord Shiva is representing here. Okay, that mixed with the emotional healing is what we're looking at. Okay guys, so sorry, but I keep getting distracted because I have an order that I keep getting substitutions with. So, sorry. Short pause. See what they don't have? Parsley, of all things. How strange. Who's eating up all the parsley in my town? Okay, so parsley may mean something. Wonder what parsley... Hey Siri, what is parsley spiritual meaning? Protection, purification, communication with the spirit world, love, lust, passion, fertility, luck, rebirth, and personal strength. Interesting. See? Whatever comes through in the readings always has some kind of meaning behind it. We have synchronicity here and change, which is the Tower. Okay, so pile 3. Pile 3. What's coming in next for pile 3? What's next for pile 3? My singles. What's next for pile 3? We have empty room, no people, the end, and opportunity. With every end comes a new opportunity. See, there's locks on these doors, but the door's now open. Kind of like what we talked about with Lord Shiva here. Roll the dice, take a chance, risk, leap of faith. So you may have an opportunity here to take a risk. Take a leap of faith, perhaps. Uh-oh. We have drinks here. So you may be like going out here, taking a risk, going out. Drinks always remind me of a conversation though, right? To me, I mean, because it does say it says liquor, but it also says coffee, tea, and water. So it's basically like when you sit and you take a break, you know, or you sit and you have coffee with someone or you have tea with someone. There's like a discussion that's there, or drinks with someone. And adjust, adapt. This has been coming out a lot here with this adjust. It's about balance, bringing things into balance, taking a risk. Okay. You got Scorpio energy there too with that Tower, Summer 16, which is about change and transformation. So either you or someone, I feel like, maybe taking some kind of risk to have a conversation to balance something out. Or we have Rose at the bottom. Okay, passionate love, thorns, and short. And ascending and collection underneath that. Okay. My phone just started blowing up. I mean, communication may be a big thing in your reading. Of course, you did have the little blue heart. So, to me, that's obviously about communication. And I keep having all these distractions. Somebody was calling me, somebody left a message. I got 2 text messages and some alerts. So that's a lot in the past couple of minutes that we've been into your reading. So with that being said, I do feel like that there's something to do with like this being, maybe this situation's interrupting your life in some way. Like Lord Shiva, it's like something that needs to happen in order to perhaps bring some kind of balance. Okay. An opportunity to take a risk, to possibly have some kind of conversation, to bring in balance. And every rose has its thorns, right? So in other words, this is a situation that you may be walking into, kind of like the Tower, where it might sting a little, you know, it might hurt a little, but there's beauty behind it, hopefully balance behind it. So, okay, this is not exactly where I thought we were heading, but here we are. You have the Devil right off the bat in reverse, and the Nine of, yeah, this is something that's very difficult. Trying to release the toxicities here. I've never noticed that in these cards, that was kind of out there, so I'm going to have to pull some stones to make some covers. This is the, I'm all over the place, right? This is the Ocean Tarot. This might throw you off or throw someone off. Almost kind of like you don't know what to say, or you're kind of unexpected and it's taking a risk. Somebody's taking a risk. Somewhat unexpected, catches you off guard. The Lovers here in reverse with the Four of Pentacles and Four of Water. Not Pentacles. Four of Cups in the reverse. The Knight of Spears. That's the Knight of Swords. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, guys. I mean, I had to stop. My phone was going off again. Different person. So, what? What in the world? You know, like, there's the Tower. Okay. And the Lovers in reverse. This energy's heavy. And, oh my God. My music's just changed. Actually, it's just stopped. It's fixing to change. What in the world? Now you have the Chariot in reverse at the Tower. Something not going the way that you thought, or something not going as expected, or something happening kind of out of the blue. Okay, so what in the heck is going on here for pile 3? What is this about? What is this about? What is this empty room about, this opportunity? Let's just dive in, guys, okay? Because the energy's very chaotic. You have the Six of, ooh, man, that's kind of scary. Look at that. That's the Six of Swords. So that's getting to a calmer place. So of course, this opportunity to get to a calmer place. You also have the Knight of Cups that came out in reverse. I'm not going to take it because I'm not sure if it was reversed or not, but basically it's just indicating to me that this is somebody that's coming towards you, but their emotions may be a little bit chaotic. You don't, maybe this is you and you don't know how to take this situation, this person, you don't know how to judge this situation. Now you have the Knight of Pentacles there in reverse. You have a Knight of, yeah, look at all these Knights. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. There's the Devil in reverse again. Capricorn energy. You have Scorpio here, and the Two of Wands. Okay, so somebody's at a crossroads. You could also be at a crossroads. If not yet, you're fixing to be. Roll the dice. Tell me about this. What is next for pile 3? You have an Ace, so there's an opportunity that's there. The Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Somebody may be taking a risk, taking a chance of let's keep going. It's the Six of Pentacles. There's an equal exchange, equal give and take, or someone wanting to be generous with the other. These sixes have been coming out a lot. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So you have Six of Spears, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. There's somebody here that's hoping to bring balance to a situation. They want to offer you something, and I think it has to do with the conversation. This could be like a night out or going out just to have like this conversation. I feel like this is someone that's trying to kind of, they want to get to a calmer place, or they're wanting an opportunity to get to a calmer place, and they're taking a risk at you turning them down. Okay, so why is the Six of Spears here? You have an Eight of Cups in the reverse. This person's, there's still like this emotional stuff that they're carrying here, and this is what they want to straighten out or get to a calmer place about. You have the Nine of, that's the Nine of Pentacles. So this is someone that may be single. You may be single. This is somebody though that just wants to get to a comfortable place. Why is that it's there? The Five, they want to get past a conflict. Five of Swords in the reverse and get to a calmer place because they still have an emotional attachment to you here. They just want to move on past a conflict. They feel like this is something that's really important to them, and they want an opportunity to do that. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Roll the dice. You have a Page of Pentacles. So this is you're going to get some kind of message here, an opportunity, and it's up to you what you want to do with that opportunity. But this is definitely somebody that's taking a risk and you turning them down, being rejected. Six of Pentacles. You have the Hermit in reverse. So this could be somebody that's breaking their silence, with the Hermit being in reverse. Virgo energy. There may be some kind of financial conflict here with this Nine of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm backtracking, but I can't get past what I'm seeing here. The Nine of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. There could be some kind of conflict around what you're giving or what you're capable of giving or having what you need. Something to do with that, whether it's this person or you. Okay, so this is somebody that's offering some sort of conversation, wanting to give you, wanting to break the silence, wanting to offer you some sort of understanding here. What is this about? The Eight of Swords in the reverse. Some sort of either harsh communication, or maybe why things shifted or changed, or an understanding around that. This is somebody that feels like maybe you may still be in your head about some things, like they want to help clear those things up, clear the air. Ace of Wands, the Five of is the Five of Cups, so being disappointed here in a new beginning. Okay, what? What does this have to do with? Hold on. See, you got the Tower cards because you have 555 here. This is the Five of Pentacles in the reverse with the rose. There's a closed door behind that rose, you know, and the rose is wet, like it's been weeping, like there's grief here. Honestly, I can't exactly pinpoint this person's protocol here. It's very wishy-washy and it's kind of stuck. You see how we have all the sixes, all the fives, and all the aces. So this is somebody that wants a change. They want to have a balanced, equal give and take. And they want to start over, some kind of new beginning. But I think the actions to take in order to get there, either that matters, that's going to rely on you if you're participating in this, or that's out of their control in some way. There's only so far this person can go to try to get what they want. Their plan here is, I think, to express some kind of disappointment. Either that has to do with something going on in their life or a situation between you and them. But it's almost like whatever that is, it's like everything has balanced itself out because of X, Y, and Z. It feels like energy of karma playing out. Why is that? Yeah, the Star in reverse. Something, this person, okay, either this is what they wanted with you, or this happened in their life in some way. There was some kind of opportunity that was here, new opportunity in some sense, that didn't work out with the Star in reverse, or this is something this person really wanted with you that didn't work out. But there's an emotional understanding that's here about the disappointment and trying to get past that, wanting to get past that. I think this is someone that also like misses you. Let's see what's the basically what's real here, right? Let's see. Tell me about this person that's coming in here towards pile 3. Tell me about this person. Oh, good grief, guys. I mean, this is ridiculous. I have literally just had one thing after another come on. I really feel like this may come in all of a sudden, and then have you ever had somebody come to you all of a sudden and they start like just telling you all these things, and you almost don't have enough time to even comprehend everything that they're saying to you and trying to make sense of it? It's like, wait, what? Wait, slow down. That's kind of what I'm feeling here in a way in this. And I don't know if that's like a manipulative tactic or if this person is legitly like emotionally just either distraught or doesn't know how to communicate what they feel. So I need to figure that out. So, because you need to know that. Okay. So tell me about this person. Tell me about this person that's coming towards the Fool. They want to start over. They want a new beginning. Again, they're taking a risk coming towards you. They might want a friendship. You have that dolphin that's there, so they're wanting to be friendly. You have a 9 of Swords, so this is very hard for this person. They're having a lot of anxiety. They may be under a lot of stress. It could be in their life or it's just with this situation. There it is again. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Give me some clarifiers for the Fool. Aries energy. There's the Death. Scorpio energy in reverse. This person they want to redo, right? They want to try to resurrect something here. Do something in a different way. Start over. Change the situation. Why is the Nine of Swords here? Yeah, the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This person has a lot of anxiety around coming towards you, and it not going right. I think they're worried about like a disaster or making things worse. The Knight of Cups. Hey, you have a Knight. Look at all these Knights. You have a Knight of Swords. This is somebody that's trying to, they are emotional here, but they're just trying to just not be emotional at all because it's so like confusing to them how they feel, how to explain how they feel, what they feel. So instead they just try to be logical, but I think they also want to explain this to you. They don't know how they feel, or they don't know what to feel. How do they feel? The Two of Cups in the reverse. They feel disconnected. Okay, what does that mean though? Oh, it's the Ace of Cups in reverse. This person feels confused. They feel disconnected. They feel like, I think they feel as if you don't care, you don't love them. Something about the Magician. This person may feel like they sabotage something here with you. What's the truth though with this? The Four of Pentacles in the reverse. And the King of Swords. This is somebody that feels like that they were either overly protective, too logical, they weren't expressive of their emotions. Maybe this is something that they're expressing to you. They feel like maybe they've learned some things. Like this is all about someone wanting to communicate, open up to you. Okay. I mean, what's the truth here? The Sun. Tell me about that. Leo energy. You have Aquarius here too. The Four of Cups. Okay, so then the Three of Swords in the reverse. This person's having a hard time getting over this. They may have like put on a brave face, or you may have not been able to tell that. I don't think that this person's happy or satisfied with whatever's around them or whatever they've been doing. That's what the Four of Cups is. It's basically like you have other relationships around you, but they don't seem to bring you that same kind of feeling. This is like the truth here. I'm asking what the truth is. The Sun is representing the truth, clarity. That Three of Swords in the reverse is a need to heal, needing to heal. So this feels like somebody, the truth here is that they wouldn't be able to enjoy other relationships or connections around them because whatever's gone on here between the two of y'all has left them in a place to where they feel like there's a lot of unhealed wounds that are there. And so that could lead them to compare you to others. That could lead them to feel like there's unfinished business, or they're missing something, even if they're in another relationship, or if they feel like they have good friends or family around them. You know, it's just like you always feel like something is not right or missing, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for trying to find balance with that feeling. Are they genuine? Can you trust this person? What should you really know about them? Okay, the two, they're at a crossroads right now. Two of Wands, they're at a crossroads. Temperance in reverse. They're not happy or satisfied where they are. Sagittarius energy. They're at a crossroads. They're not happy where they are. Justice. This may be part of their karma though. it has to do with the decision or road that they went down or chose. Justice is Libra energy. They're not happy with the way things are, but they also know that, like, it's their own doing because they chose that road. This is what you should know about this person. Look at Two of Pentacles, again, card of choice. They chose that path. Temperance in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune. They're not happy with their fate at this time. Like, they're not happy with the way the wheel's spinning, how things are going for them. They're trying to find balance with how things are going for them. Why is Justice here? Libra and the Empress. Oh. I mean, this is basically saying, like, somebody's trying to just learn and grow from their karma, from their choices, from their where they are. They may not be happy where they are. They're just trying to grow from it. I also feel like this may be this person kind of seeing, like, for some of you, not everybody, this person may feel like that they're getting some kind of karma here for something. For what is that? For the decisions that they've made. The Two of Swords in the reverse. Clarify that. The Devil. Well, that's pretty clear. Some decisions that they made when it comes to the Devil. So basically kind of marking their self. It's like they're their own destruction, right? It's like you mark yourself off from your own abundance because you go after things you know aren't good for you. That's what that looks like. Okay, so what's going to happen here moving forward? Libra, Taurus, Capricorn. What's going to happen here moving forward? You have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. That's Pentacles. Sorry, Pearls. That's the Seven of Cups in the reverse. And Strength here in the reverse, Leo energy. I don't think you have a lot of choice. I think this is going to leave you vulnerable, emotionally especially. I feel like this is going to be something that's difficult. It's the Eight of Wands. That's a shift that's going to occur. Also, communication is part of that. My phone is still going off. It's still going off. I've had 2 more messages and 1 phone call. Tell me about these Seven of Pearls in the reverse. It's the Six of... Recognizing that maybe perhaps this isn't an option for you, you know? Or if you want to get out of the emotional confusion that you have felt in the situation, that requires you to recognize that as it is what it is, as far as you're going to be vulnerable when it comes to this. I feel like this is a conversation here. Why is Strength in reverse? It's the Three of Wands. I mean, to me, this is like, you may have waited a really long time and just kind of ran out of patience. Or this is why this person's coming toward you, perhaps, because they don't have any other option. Tell me about the Eight of Wands. Yeah, the Ten of Cups. Well, I mean, this looks like something shifts pretty grand, pretty significant for the best. The Emperor in reverse. Okay, so here's the thing, though, the bottom line. Yeah, Queen of Spears. So you're looking at this logically with the Queen of Spears, Libra energy. You also have the Moon in reverse. So things being revealed to you that you didn't know or didn't see before. Letting your guard down and allowing this person to communicate, I think, is also key. Because I feel like that's just going to tell you a lot. I also feel like this is going to give you an opportunity to get out of any kind of emotional confusion about what you have felt or what's been unknown to you. I think you're looking at this situation very smart, very logically. And I feel like you've waited for this for so long. I don't think that it's going to have the same effect on you, perhaps maybe that it once would have. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because the Queen of Swords is telling me you're in your protective energy, you know. Also knowing that this is probably for the best. I do feel like this does change the situation for the better. But I think you also identify with this person not being who you need, or what you need. You have the Emperor there, and look, that looks so much like the Lord Shiva, right? With the Triton there. But in reverse, Aries energy. And with that Eight of Wands, it's things moving quickly, things shifting. I just don't feel like that you're a part of this. I think this is something that this person's, part of this person's like spiritual path, and you're a piece of that, you know, you're on their path through that, like, spirit, whatever you want to call that, the spiritual awakening, understanding this person's having with themselves. But I think whatever's done is done, if that makes sense. And this is like, whatever's happening here, whatever does happen, I feel like is for the greater good, because that Ten of Cups is there. And I just feel like it has to do with the fact this person may just not be ready for some of you, they're just not ready for you, or they're just not what you need, or maybe not what you want. Interesting. Let's see what's going to happen here moving forward. So this is not what I was expecting. But it is what it is. Wait a second. I want to see something. How are you going to feel here? How will you feel about this? The Chariot in reverse. A little uneasy. A little uneasy. Kind of like where you don't kind of know what to do with this. The World in reverse, you do see that you have like some unfinished business here though. Cancer energy's there. And the Tower. There's the Tower. This is going to shake you up. It's going to rattle you. You may have felt like, I mean, to me, the Chariot is Cancer energy, and it's about your emotional stability, right? And what's for your highest good. And I feel like you may be somewhat rattled when it comes to that, because this is kind of unexpected. But I also feel like that you feel like there's unfinished business here, even still. And just like Lord Shiva, this is something that you feel like needs to happen in order for you to feel better, or for things to get in the right path. You have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. This is giving up, giving into this. That's what this is. And the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I think that this gives you an opportunity to see someone in a different light, or a different perspective. And I think it gives you enough of what you need in order to kind of close this out for you and them, to be honest. The Three of Pentacles. This is about two people working together to get to a balanced place. And the Hierophant. It's about a lesson around commitment. The two of you, I feel like, in this dynamic probably learned a lot about yourselves, and about lessons around commitment to what you're committing to yourself or with someone else. Yeah, the King of Pentacles is there in reverse. I mean, the King of Wands in reverse, and the Ten of Wands in reverse with that King of Pentacles. So to be honest, I feel like, again, I am feeling this has a lot more to do with this other person's spiritual path and what they're learning than it has to do with yours. I think you're kind of just being open to allowing for balance to be a part of this, while this person's learning about accountability and responsibility. And I don't think that just includes you either. I think it's like you are a part of the path, but I think that it's about just the path that they're on. I hope that made sense and that didn't make that confusing. Let's see what's going to happen moving forward, okay? This may have been a short relationship, short term. It says passionate love, thorns, and short. So this could be something that was very passionate or very, very deep, but very short. Tell me about what's going to happen in the future for pile 3 moving. Okay. We'll just take that, I guess. So, yeah, okay. So we have relax. Find joy in the simple pleasures of just being together. Attraction. You are attracting the right person at the right time into your life. Celebrate. Today, celebrate the love that you share with those that matter most. I think that's what's going on here. I think that there's just like an understanding, I guess you could say, of liking each other, caring about one another as a person, and that's something to celebrate. But I don't think that that necessarily means that you're going to be with this person. It just feels like reconciling. And the right path. Love is a beautiful journey and you're on the right path. I think this ultimately will lead both of you to the right person. I think this person was somebody that was meant to be in your life to help you learn something very significant about yourself. And I think that you did the same for this person. I think it has to do with commitment and trusting yourself. And I feel like now you can kind of officially, after this, kind of turn your back and kind of move into the right, keep moving forward, and that right person will come into your life when the timing is right. What's the bottom of the deck? Window. A new adventure in love is coming. Get ready. So I do feel like this is kind of closing a phase or a cycle out, and I think what you're going to notice is it's going to lead you to a brand new opportunity. Whether that's a few months from after this, several months, or a year after this, I think that this will help you to ultimately, close the chapter. Okay. This was the chapter that was missing in your book. And I think you're getting a clear understanding more about it, and especially emotionally, so that you can finally understand what the book was about to begin with. Okay, give me a card here for advice for pile 3. What can I burn? Okay, that's interesting. Burn it. Burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you're not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. Wow, this goes with y'all's card, You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready, and use them. This is such and this is exactly what I was trying to say, but this was so well said. Something like I couldn't put together, but it does go with your card so well as well, with that tower energy. Yeah. You're like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's that Scorpio energy. No longer attached to the past or that criticism or whatever was occurred here, what went on between the two of you, or just you yourself, It doesn't matter. It's just that you're freeing yourself from that past and in moving towards the future. So make the choice that will no longer let the past define you. Pick up the pen What will your next chapter look like? That's funny because I, I talked a lot about chapters. That was my clarification. I was on the right track there. Okay, so let's get a Wild Offering Oracle card. Okay. 2 cards wanted to come out very quickly, and you'll never guess what they are together. And it's so wild. Guys, it's relationship and independence. Okay. I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. May it now fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in the perfect way for each of us. I needn't fear letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. And independence. The more you learn to feed yourself on the inside and care for the inner child, the more freestanding you become. Help me find and love this inner child, dear Lord. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to leave y'all here. I'm going to get some initials and charms. Whew. Okay. Ooh, y'all got some good ones. Okay. What's this? Ooh, what a pretty butterfly. I haven't seen this yet. So, not a lot to say about that, really. It's so pretty. Pink and blue are my favorite colors, so it's very captivating to me. So you do have the little hearts down here at the bottom as well. So this is about changes and transforming, turning something that is not so great and into something that is beautiful is definitely part of this, part of what's here. You also have live in the present. This is about talking about letting go of the past. You have the cactus, so keeping healthy boundaries is also important. You have be a nice human. You have the new moon here, which may be relevant. I'm pretty sure, well, no, that's a little more than the new moon, but that black cat is about your intuition. Listen to your intuition when it comes to new beginnings, and loving is easy. And then you have an Ilmar W, U, Z, Y, I, B, and L. And that's it. All right. So thanks so much, guys, for being here. Thanks for all your love, support, and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck to you guys, and hope to see you soon. Bye.